Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great. Bang!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bound!
Bang! You quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
I think we've shown all season long, like, they're resilient, they're connected. They pull for each other. They enjoy one another. They celebrate one another, and that stuff alone is good for 10 to 12 points a game. And for this group, the way that they share the ball, how unselfish they are. I mean, I'm really proud of them. It's not been ideal circumstances all season long, but they've shown the character of who they are. They've been resilient. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another. And I couldn't be more proud of this group than I am.
Angel Reese is reportedly day-to-day again, but anyone following her career knows exactly what that usually means. Last season, it was a so-called season-ending wrist injury. This year, it's a sudden back issue that conveniently arises just as the Chicago Sky start performing better without her. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to break records, even while sitting out with a legitimate groin injury. She's still present on the sidelines, supporting her team as they push toward the playoffs. So the question is Angel Reese truly injured, or is this just the most predictable disappearing act in WNBA history?
I think Angel Reese, and I'm say this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season. I think this is a worse version than Kawhi.
Angel Reese is listed as day-to-day again, and at this point, fans could practically recite the script. The updates are always vague, and she somehow ends up facing embarrassment after fans notice her missing from her own team's lineup. If you think this is just another Reese PR move, drop fire emojis in the comments. Let's talk. The pattern is the same. Unclear updates, disappearing from the roster, and perfect timing whenever the Chicago Sky are struggling. We've seen this before, and the reruns are getting old. Last season, she had wrist surgery, framed as a preventive measure against arthritis before even hitting her mid-20s. Then her season abruptly ended. No final push, no grind to return, just gone. Now comes the unwelcome sequel, a mysterious back injury with no timetable and zero details. It conveniently appears in the middle of another rough patch for the Sky. Losses pile up, pressure mounts, and suddenly she's not in uniform, or even on the bench. At this point, you could practically set your watch to when her day-to-day magically becomes an indefinite absence.
Once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not going to win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my...
And here's the kicker. Angel Reese didn't even bother traveling to Indianapolis for a game against the Fever, a marquee matchup the league hypes as one of its biggest draws. This is the WNBA's self-proclaimed "it girl" skipping the hottest rivalry of the season. But let's rewind a few weeks. She was in Indiana for the All-Star game, smiling for the cameras, soaking up the spotlight, and even taking a jab by claiming she owned Caitlin Clark's tunnel. So apparently the back is fine for grabbing headlines, but not for actually facing Clark on the court. Makes you wonder, is this about protecting her image from another public meltdown? Avoiding games where the stats might not look good? The whispers aren't flattering. Some commentators are already suggesting she might be done for the season.
Bruh, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel?
Some aren't even hinting. They're outright saying she quit. 2 seasons, 2 injuries, each one happening just as her performance starts to waver. Each time, it wipes out the chance to show she can push through a slump and still contribute. Line up the timelines, and this doesn't look like bad luck. It looks like a pattern. And here's the part that really stings. The moment she's off the floor, the Chicago Sky suddenly start playing like a real team. That's when this story shifts from suspicious to downright wild. For 2 straight years, Chicago's win-loss record tells a very different story than the team's marketing does. Angel Reese, the player promoted as the franchise face, is producing results that don't match the hype. The truth? The Sky actually perform better when she's not on the court, and this isn't some cherry-pick stat.
Reese! She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait, what's going on?
The stretches without Angel Reese are when the Chicago Sky finally string together wins and avoid the sloppy, self-inflicted losses that keep them near the bottom of the standings. Not exactly what you want from your so-called cornerstone player. Take what happened when Chicago faced Indiana without Caitlin Clark. Everyone expected the Fever to crumble without their star. Instead, Lexi Hall stepped up, scored 17 points, posted a plus 22 efficiency, and Indiana dominated the Sky. And this is the same Sky team that has struggled to beat Indiana all season. Doesn't matter who's in the lineup. Hull, Boston, Mitchell, Cunningham. They couldn't get it done.
Seen her back as an excuse to sit out because she doesn't really care about basketball. I think she looks over at Caitlin Clark and says, hey, Caitlin Clark is out with a legitimate injury. I proved my point before the All-Star game when I went on a 10-game run trying to justify being on the All-Star team. When that first ballot came out, when the first voting results came out about the All-Star game and I was 13th, holy cow, Angel Reese panicked, started playing hard, tried to put up some stats to justify being on the All-Star team, did that. And now she said, hey, the Chicago...
They all played their roles, trusted the flow, and didn't force the game. Nobody was jacking up bad shots just to keep a brand alive. That's the thing about team chemistry. It's not rocket science. You either have players who elevate everyone around them, or you have players who clog the system. And when Angel Reese is sidelined, the ball actually moves. Chicago's offense breathes. No waiting for her to post up out of position. No guard stuck force-feeding her while the clock ticks down. Instead, the wings cut hard, the guards run proper sets, and shots come from clean opportunities, not desperation heaves at the buzzer. It's the classic addition by subtraction scenario. The irony is impossible to ignore. Take out your so-called best player, and suddenly the squad's energy skyrockets. Analysts are noticing it too. Extra spacing, faster pace, and even the bench looks more alive when she's not clogging the floor. Coaches won't say it outright, but the signs are obvious. The team moves with more urgency when every possession isn't funneled through one ego.
New strategy, team. Angel, keep doing your part. Everyone else, go rebound her misses. Burn! If she keeps missing layups at this rate, she's gonna be serving buttermilk pancakes at Denny's. Butter? Did somebody say butter? butter pecan! Burn! At a certain point, you just got to applaud greatness. A me bound on her back? Are you kidding? Bang! Simon Says, give me another pray-up. How about it? Bang! She really hit under the basket on a layup. Get this girl GPS. Bang! Everybody get up on your feet. It's time to meet and greet the most underpaid athlete.
Angel Reese's recurring day-to-day absences have become a pattern that Chicago can't hide. Every time she sits out, the Sky play cleaner, faster, and more cohesive basketball, while Reese fades into vague injury updates. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark shows up night after night, even through pain, lifting her team, orchestrating the offense, and proving why real stars make those around them better. Indiana's core, Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell, is building a system that works, winning games, and creating momentum, while Chicago chases hype and marketing around a player whose presence on the court seems to hinder more than help. Fans can clearly see who's truly committed and who's just a brand. Clark shows up, leads, and delivers. Reese vanishes, and the Sky thrive without her.